just figured I'd give you all an update with what I've got going on and everything that I've heard this evening so far. South Buffalo, we're not hearing anything at all in that area. I've got several different people that are keeping eyes and ears out. Nothing. We don't have anything in that area. Eerily quiet. It is just eerily quiet at this point. So, or normally quiet. So, normally quiet is a good thing. It seems that most of the cars, most of the traffic at this point has subsided. Most of the stores are shut down and closed up. Some of the gas stations are still open, but most of the major stores, they did close up. So I rolled through pretty much all of the business sections, the business sectors of Depew. There are officers all over Depew, which is awesome. And then we have Cheektowaga law enforcement are everywhere. They've been posted up in the same spots pretty much every night. Wegman, so that of those stores. Guys, I think the one really big thing that I kind of take away from all of this is that our towns are vulnerable. We're very vulnerable, and a whole plaza here. If these people decided, and I'm not being alarmist, I'm just trying to say, hey, preparedness, right? Let's be prepared and let's prevention. But I mean, obviously we've never had to deal with anything like this in a long time. So I think the lessons to take away from this so that we can mitigate these situations are the things that I've been sharing with people. And I'll recap that stuff in a minute here, but I just want to go through the townships that I've heard. I heard that Niagara County, the jail over in Niagara County, they had all of the Niagara Falls police officers there barricading the driveways, which is good. That tactic has been working. That's something that we need to use all the time when we do hear about this. Now, obviously, we're not going to know about locations. It seems, though, that these people aren't very bright. They put this stuff on social media, and everybody finds it pretty quickly. So, but one thing driving around that it strikes me, if you do have a business or if you know anybody that has a business, I think one very simple thing and very effective measure that you could use is just block off your driveway. Get some cinder blocks or get something that vehicles can't gain access into your driveway. I mean, right now, this whole plaza is vulnerable. Wegmans is vulnerable. Value is vulnerable. Had they just, all they would have need. So you got a big parking lot, right? A very big parking lot that if people decided to gather here quickly and descend on there, police and law enforcement's going to have a very, very difficult time of keeping everything in check. However, all they would have had to do is block off their driveways. So share that information. If you're a business owner or you know somebody that's a business owner or you're a manager of a business or you are a property manager, when we hear these stories and these reports about these places, block off your driveways, man. These people they're just going for the easy kill. That's it. Sure, they've got some things that are strategic, but the strategic big things are shut down, right? They want the Targets, they want the Walmarts, they want the mall. But these plazas here, if you're left over, if you're the slow one, if you're the one that falls down in the horror movie, you're gonna be the one that gets hit because they can very easily gather here. So something to take away from this. Also, I think something to take away from this is that, it is very vulnerable. Our businesses, our neighborhoods are extremely vulnerable, and we got away from community, guys. That is a big thing. We don't know our neighbors, right? How many neighbors do you know? How many neighbors do you talk to? How often do you even get together with our families? And I think that this is a lesson that we can take from this. I really think that being there with our neighbors, making sure our elderly are okay, making sure that Our loved ones are okay, our friends are okay. Doing these communication trees are huge because this information is getting out. Now, I have people all over the county right now reporting to me. They're sharing information with me either on Facebook or in Messenger. Some people, they don't want to be recognized. They just want to know that they're helping. And Jessica's been a huge help. Jessica Maines has been a huge help. Sean Kelly was a huge help. Sean Coppola the other night, I mean, dude was amazing. Thank God for him. And we had so many people, so many names that have provided information and help. But I think that's the thing to take away from this. Wherever you are in this country, be a community. Get to know your neighbors, Just say hi. Bring them some food. Bring your neighbors some food. Bring the elderly people some food, And I got to do a better job on that too. I really do. I know some of my neighbors. I don't know all of my neighbors. But I think that that's a big lesson that I've taken from this, is that we are very vulnerable. And we don't have to be. I'm taking a look at videos across the country right now in Idaho. Those guys are rolling strong, man. They are bad asses. They are rolling through Idaho, doing what they need to protect that state and to protect their homes. And there are a lot of other communities. I just saw some more. South Buffalo the other night. Huge, right? South Buffalo tonight, I'm sure, is, got word, and they came out in force, and they're like, it ain't happening here, Niagara Square, they did have some live video that took place. Now, guys, you got to be aware of something that happened today. Black Lives Matter leadership told officers that if they want this to end, to kneel on one knee for forgiveness. Buffalo police, I don't know if it was for prayer and solidarity or if it was kneeling because they were told to kneel. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know if it's good because it means they recognize that there are injustices in the way that they've behaved and they need to change. I think a big part of me says that. But the other part of me is that you let a terror organization that is still destroying our towns and cities dictate to you what to do. And you showed that they're your ruler. So I don't know how to feel about that. Maybe people could comment on that and give me their thoughts, because I kind of need to deliberate over that in my mind. But it seems like the city is safe everywhere tonight. I'm not hearing any gunshots where I've been. I've been in a number of towns. I've been in Cheektowaga. I was over in the Bailey area a little bit. It seems pretty quiet over there. I was in Depew, and it seems quiet. I do have eyes and ears I have eyes and ears out in Niagara Falls, West Seneca. We haven't had any word in West Seneca. So again, in West Seneca, guys, they have the major retail areas blocked off. Like I said, just the driveways are shut down, so people can't even get in. So something to think about. If you do have a grassy area in front of your business where people would be able to drive across the grass, maybe consider, I know fences are bad, but you could probably put in rocks, or you could put in a little bit of a hedge or something. Something to think about, for your business. So like I said, if you're a property manager, I think that'll go a long way. The only other area that I heard of, I think that's it. We had West Seneca, and that's it. So very, very quiet tonight. The curfew, people were out. Like now it's quiet. It was about an hour afterwards. So I think it was kind of a good idea to end it at 8, because now about 9 o'clock, which it's usually getting quiet anyways, but hopefully everybody's in. But what I do want to additionally talk about are San Diego. So San Diego right now is being destroyed, I guess. I got reports about that. So, God bless those people out there. Now, my understanding is that Governor Cuomo turned down National Guard help from from President Trump. So you have to ask yourself why that would be, I don't know if there's legalities behind it, or if, I don't know what the reason is. There's all kinds of conjecture, but the facts are he turned down the National Guard. Now, I don't know if Buffalo and Poland cars, they turned down the National Guard or not. I do know State National Guard probably was involved here. So I know that we have a very, very good State National Guard locally. I know a lot of those guys, a lot of those women, they're friends of mine. and they train all the time. I mean, they train hard, and I think that that's one group of people that I really haven't been able to commend through this. The State National Guard and all of those guys, they train, and you don't even know that they train. But these guys, they go away. These girls, they go away for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I mean, there's sometimes they go away for a month. They go away for a whole month on training, and their whole job is to protect us in matters of crisis. So if you know, a local National Guard, State National Guard person, thank them, because those guys, those women, they train hard. And like I said, I know them. They were supposed to get deployed on a major deployment for about a year, a little over a year. Fortunately, that was canceled. But like I said, they were out with Buffalo PD yesterday, and they were helping them. I don't see any National Guard in Depew and Cheektowaga right now. I do see some citizens on patrol. I think that was a police academy. I'm going to sing it. Citizens on patrol. Citizens. So that was bad. I'm sorry. But I think, how do you forget that? Police academy, citizens patrol. I mean, our age, our group, our generation, that was legendary, right? So anyways, it's very quiet. That's a positive thing. But guys, just keep eyes and ears peeled. Definitely let me know. You hear anything, I'm going to be out. I'm going to be up. I don't think I'm going to get out to the falls tonight. I do have people out there. So if I do hear anything is out there, I'm probably going to go out there. But if I don't, I'm just going to kind of stay locally here. So, hey, Sherry, I just wanted to tell you things are quiet. Things are very, very quiet. Hey, Mark, I've been seeing you. Good to see you again. Good to see your name pop up. Everything's quiet here in Buffalo. Very cool. But the towns, the cities around the country, and I don't want to get political, but we have to for a second. The states that are red, they're protected at this point. Their citizenry is protecting them. They have weapons. They're out there, and they're protecting their businesses. They're protecting their neighbors. The blue states like California and New York and where's another hotbed? I can't remember where the other hotbeds are, but those hotbeds that are out there, those states are getting destroyed. I heard New York City. Now, I don't watch the news. I only get what I get through social media. You're welcome, Sherry. I only get what I get through social media and you guys, but it seems to me that all this stuff could have been avoided had they used the efforts that we're using and employing here. So I'm happy it's quiet tonight. I don't know what that means. Hopefully protesters, today Niagara Square group prayer. There was a group prayer. I don't know if I mentioned, but there was the protest. I don't know if I got distracted or not. Small protest at Niagara prison there, and holding whatever it is in Niagara County, and it dispersed peacefully. So there was also at Niagara Square a peaceful protest where law enforcement was there educating the protesters about how they handle police corruption and what the process is. So guys, a lot of good things are happening. A lot of very good things are happening. I don't know if you've been victimized by police abuse or police corruption, but I have. I have a lot in my life, unfortunately. Some of it was probably my doing, but some of it wasn't my doing. And I know a lot of people of all ethnicities, guys. This is, somebody mentioned, I can't remember who it was earlier, somebody I grew up with in East Aurora. They were like, we didn't have any black people in East Aurora. And they were harassing us all the time, So, we're like, you'd be better off if you were black in East Aurora because they wouldn't mess with you for fear of being called a racist. So, we have all had to deal with police. We have all had to, but we've also dealt with the amazing police that are out there, the police officers. So we all have those stories about those scumbag officers that lie. We all know that. And I'm not even going to get into those stories right now, but they represent such a small number of people in our law enforcement. And that's fact. Some departments, it's represented by a lot more. Some departments, it's an entire department. But most departments, these guys and women, they want to help, and, but it's not limited to black. It's not limited to anybody at this point. Everybody has been victimized by it. So the good thing is that I guess maybe a little bit of change does come. The violence didn't have to happen. That never had to happen. The peaceful protests, those were working. So, um, I did want to mention that the Niagara Square protest, the original one on Saturday that turned violent, for anybody that wasn't watching earlier, there was a woman who was probably Antifa. She was a white woman, came in. Or, you know what? I don't know if she was a white woman. I can't say that. But a woman came in, drove into the protest, was trying to hand out bricks to everybody, and they wouldn't take them. So then she drove into the crowd. They pulled her out of the vehicle, and they stopped her. Then she was, taken by ambulance to the hospital, which she's still in the hospital at this point. But she has not been cooperative, obviously. She's not going to answer a question and any questions. But she probably learned that from 24 Hours, right? Any comedian that's covered that show 24 Hours is like, hey, you don't want to get caught, don't say anything. But we're not going to go there in this. We're talking about appreciation and prayers for our country. We're talking about appreciation and prayers for all law enforcement, everybody that helped, guys. And I do want to say this again. I want to go through the steps of what you can do and what we've all done today. Monitor social media. Make sure you set up communication trees. Make sure you get to know your neighbors. Talk to your neighbors. You let them, bring over something. I don't know what you bring over, salt, flour, whatever. I don't know. I got pizza in my freezer. I don't think that's going to cut it. But, get to know your neighbors. Make our communities again, guys. If you go to church, support that and be a part of that. Let's get back to family. And, a lot of us here in the Buffalo area, I'm fortunate, I'm blessed. I have some of the most amazing, incredible friends and family that anybody can have. Truly love you guys. And communicating with the communication tree has been amazing. It's not everybody. It's just a handful of people. Like, I probably have 12 people tonight reaching out. And it's probably been about maybe 50 or 60 through the course of this that we've been able to reach out to one another. Oh boy, possible house fire, transit, French going. Okay. So I don't know if that's anything to do that Jessica just sent that over. I don't know if that's related. It's on. So be careful. Okay, it's believed not to be riot related, which is good. That's very good. That's a blessing. But let us know. So thank you. Awesome. So communication tree is big. No thing. Police see if you neighborhoods or in areas where that they could collect, do that. Because that's what we did, and we were able to find these people, and we were able to pass this information along to law enforcement. We were able to be everywhere, guys. They can't. Even with National Guard, multiple departments, it's impossible. So with us doing that and rolling through neighborhoods and making sure that the places that they can collect, they can't. Or if they are, that we immediately contact them, law enforcement, and they were responding. That's the way it worked. So also beyond that, if you have a neighborhood and you are, you are connected with everybody in the neighborhood in a tight way, then roll with them. Roll in strength through the neighborhood, walk through the neighborhood together, make sure everybody, in solidarity and unified, to make sure that if anybody is going to do anything, I tell you what, these people are weak. They are extremely weak. They're not going to do anything if they think that there's a threat. They want to gather first and then have strength in numbers. That's what. So, beyond that, ones, get them, make sure it's a fresh can. Don't let it go for a year or two. But get the Hornet spray, the Hornet for the house. You can spray that. It goes 30 feet. I think some go 40 feet. You can have a baseball bat. you can protect yourself that way. Make sure, with family, if you don't know about it, 360 app, I don't use it, right? There's no way I'm using 360 app. There's just no way I'm giving anybody that type of information. But guys, 360 app for your family, for your friends, for the elderly, it's huge. They can respond to you. There's the emergency apps, get those apps going. Just make sure that there's no place, for people to hide around the house. Just the common sense measures that, anybody could get into. The windows, everything's locked, the doors are locked. Like I said earlier, check on the lights. I can't remember which they say is better. I don't want to speak out of turn on that. But if you own a property, hire somebody to be outside. I've got a lot of friends who own businesses, and they're like, I'm kind of scared. I don't know. Well, dude, pay one of the people that are close, pay one of the apartments, or pay somebody to sit in front. Because if you have somebody that is sitting in front in a vehicle, chances are very, very, very likely these people aren't going to do anything to your property, and they're not going to do anything to your house. So have somebody there. If you can't be there, have somebody there in a car. Do whatever you got to do to compensate them, but it's worth the money. It's worth the paranoia deductible as opposed to giving them a pizza and a beer or a drink. So I think another thing that I mentioned earlier was block the driveways, guys. Block access to these places. Just do that. Block them off, Also, you can bulletproof glass. You can bulletproof glass very easily. You can put a film of plastic over top of any glass. You can do it on the outside is what you want to do. So you think about your car window, the tempered glass there. If anything hits it, it's going to shatter. That's what you do when you bulletproof glass. Why do I know that? I probably shouldn't tell you that. But, it's probably a little odd that I do know that, right? But you can absolutely bulletproof glass on your property, your business, and you the layer of plastic, the clear plastic over top of it, and it will. And also, it's going to prevent these guys from, because even if the glass, they can't get through it. If you put that Lexan on there, or that thin Lexan, that thin plastic, really easy, all the plate glass that you've got, and they're not going to. Good luck kicking through that, guys. You know what I mean? Window's going to shatter, but you ain't getting through that clear plastic. So they're going to move on. They're going to keep kicking and kicking and kicking, and they're going to try to get that window off of the frame, which they might eventually do, but it's going to take a whole lot more work. And they're going to pull a muscle, you do whatever. Some of these guys are older, so they're really, it's going to be a bad scene for them. But, I think the absolute biggest thing is just, have somebody there and block off the driveway. If you're close to the street, there's not going to be much that you can do. If they're going to loot your property, they're going to do it. If they're going to riot in front of your place, they're going to do it. Boarding up your windows, obviously, is a good option. It's a good measure to employ. They did that in South Buffalo. And you're definitely not getting through the plywood. You're not getting through the plywood. But if it's tough because you have brick and concrete, or you have to drive it, it's going to ruin it. So it's maybe not as easy. And you got the metal frames on your windows. It's not going to be easy. So putting the clear Lexan or the thin plastic over top of the windows is good. Also, obviously your alarm systems. Anybody that is around. That. Connected to the police, those are really good measures to take. But, just keep that stuff in mind, pass it along, share it along. Very quiet though, guys. God bless everybody. God bless everybody that helped. Thank you for everybody that helped and is helping. Hopefully it's going to be an early night tonight, but if I do hear anything, I'll definitely communicate it to you guys as soon as I can. Again, thoughts and prayers with everybody out in San Diego and in every city, New York City. thoughts and prayers with all those people, all those business owners that are having to deal with this violence at this point. And again, guys, don't forget that de Blasio invited these people in, and he's not doing anything to stop it. Cuomo and de Blasio turned away the National Guard. National Guard could be putting a stop to this. And you have to ask yourself, why don't they want to stop it? Why do they want to continue to have that town under siege? Why do they continue to want to have their business owners destroyed and shut down and locked down? And one thing that you need to remember, guys, and don't forget, we were in a lockdown for over 3 months. And that's going to be forgotten very quickly. And, and I think that that's the motivation. There was one other thing I wanted to tell you guys. Our protests that we do are organic. We have Restore Constitutional Freedom to New York. We're associated with the Tea Party. We're associated with the Libertarian Party of New York, or of Erie County. We're associated with the Constitutional Coalition of New York. I have never been anybody who has organized a protest. I've never been to a protest. Never been to one. We get about 100 people to come out to our protest. And we're talking, we have tens of thousands of members. Tens of thousands of members that are so passionate. Their businesses were shut down. Everything was taken from them, guys. And we get about 100 people to show up to the protests. That's it. 100 people. So these protests, these riots, this looting, this is organized. This has been orchestrated. These are people that have been paid, okay? These are people who are exploiting and being opportunistic. You have the peaceful protesters, and what's indicated by the peaceful protesters are, look at, you had a small gathering today at Niagara Square, about 100 people, which is a good gathering for a protest, believe it or not. Most protests get about 3 people. As most protesters know, who have been out there fighting for a long time, a lot of very major issues, you get about 5 or 6 people that come out. If that, So getting 100 people to come out is actually a big deal. We get about 120, we maybe get 40 cars that roll. But we're an organic organization that has over more than 10,000 people trying to fight. So when you see thousands of people and hundreds of people, that is not organic. That is orchestrated. That is organized. That is planned. That is plotted. That's what that is. And you have... This is, make no mistake, guys, this is domestic terrorism. Will we hold these people accountable? Will these people be held accountable? Will de Blasio be held accountable? Will, not pulling cars so much, but, for this specifically, he can be held accountable for other things, but will Cuomo be held accountable? Will these other states and these other cities that said, don't arrest the looters, don't arrest the rioters, they put all of us in harm's way. They're not going to hurt you. They're not going to arrest you. That empowers you. If you think you're not going to get hurt, guess what? When you're wrapped in that's what you're alive. When you're coming at somebody without anyone on and anything on. And when you know that somebody's not going to retaliate and there's no possibility of punishment or getting hurt, you get very brave. And what these guys, because that put law enforcement in jeopardy. And don't forget that, guys. Let's make sure this is the narrative that we're, pushing. That these are the conversations that we're having. Thank God we're all safe tonight. It's very quiet out. I don't hear anything at all. I don't even see vehicles going by. There's no cops. There's no officers. So I'm very thankful, guys. I'm gonna keep you posted if I hear anything. Let's just. If you're religious, let's keep saying our prayers, guys, and be hopeful this all comes to a conclusion very quickly. Talk to you later. Good night.